something. Somebody play something. Shit!
It's a good show. It's a great show. It's a shit show. Pick a Rick show. Not a Jerry show. Kieron here from FE, the Rick and Morty fan show. I'm really excited to have a guest here. I have Abed Gheith. He was a staff writer on two very important episodes of Rick and Morty. He worked at Channel 101, and he's currently doing a comic called Orcs In Space with Justin Roiland. Abed, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Also, that comic book is with my brother who wrote with me on Rick and Morty. Orcs in Space is his idea, actually. It's his concept, and then me and Justin and Michael Tanner pretty much helped bring it to its current state. So it is basically about they're from a planet. I think it's called Planet Muckball. It's a planet of it's like fantasy. There's orcs and there's goblins and stuff. But these are three orcs. They're complete idiots. They're on the run from, they just wronged the emperor and he's pissed. And there's these there's a federation in our world where it's a special ship was designed, and the ship is grounded on the orc planet collecting specimens or whatever. The orcs come running. It's the two guys from the ship are confused. They don't know this planet or what's happening. The orcs steal the ship, fly off into we call it the Galactagon, which is the universe. These two guys are stuck on planet Muckball and they don't know what's happening, so they get tortured. But meanwhile, these three orcs who are just sort of like the Three Stooges basically are alone in the galaxy with a very cool ship. It's got this AI device that connects to their brains and makes them basically the captains, so they're in charge. But they don't know where they're going, what's happening. They're in the middle of this insanely epic storyline of being in the universe and now becoming legends because no one understands their crazy luck of having a ship and getting away from the bad guy or the good guys. I guess they're the federation of this universe. But that's the story, is them on the loose, not knowing where they're going. Somehow they want to get back home, but will they? I don't know.
Yeah,
I do know. But
they have to deal with their problems when they got back, right?
Their problems are waiting for them, yes.
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, that's their home. They want to go back. But I don't know if you're a fan of Farscape or Red Dwarf. It's in that sense. Those are the big inspirations. Futurama. Bone also. I was obsessed with Bone. You know what I mean? That comic changed my life. I met Jeff Smith and it was insane. I was just so nervous. He kind of created my youth growing up reading comics. But that's I guess Bone is also a big influence on Orcs in Space in the sense of a cartoon world, but treating it seriously.
Yeah.
As serious as a sci-fi show that you might like. I grew up with them. I still have them. I have the Scholastic colorized ones, which are, to me, amazing. It's reference, I use them as reference for sometimes I want to read them or just look at the art, you know what I mean? That's why I can't get rid of any of my comics. It's so hard these days to find inspiration and the kind of zoom that gets you going. So a lot of those comics built my current, the way I write, the way I think of stories and characters is all from there. It all stemmed from a lot of consuming so many comics back then.
Comic books are really hard to capture comedy.
Yes, writing comedy with comics, it's very hard, but I think the secret is if the characters are funny. If your characters are rambunctious and interesting, it's a lot easier to make. Half of the work is done because the visual's there. You just got to provide now the clever wordmanship, or I don't know how to say that, but working in the comics field has been challenging and exciting. I'm a big fan of comics, but it wasn't until I started writing them I realized it is really, really hard to do comedy. And animation is a lot easier because there's a funny voice. But with this, you have to create the environment that makes you, the reader, create the voice in your head. I don't know what voice you're imagining, but we hope we get it right. That's the trick. And it's absolutely thrilling to be. I mean, this is my first comic, so I'm experiencing this as I go, and it's been thrilling because it's been a challenge and also rewarding to see it bear fruit. Yeah, that's pretty much. It's like a comedy, sci-fi comedy, like Rick and Morty, but in space, basically.
Awesome. It sounds great. I actually read most of the recent Rick and Morty comics, and that was the thing that I thought was, these are funny. I like them, but I also can picture what Rick is saying. Like, when Rick says it, I know how he would say it. When Morty says it, I know how he would say it. When Jerry's cowering because he did something stupid and he's scared, I know exactly what that would sound like, so I can bridge the gap a little bit better. But, I mean, there are characters in comic books who are good, so it's not like it's impossible. Like, Deadpool's very funny in his comic books, but it'll be interesting to see how comedy's pulled off, to me, for someone that I can't picture a voice for. But I'm very excited because I'm a big fan of Justin Roiland and most of the things that he does, and I'm a big fan of Interdimensional Cable, so I must be a big fan of your stuff. So I'm excited.
Is kind of like, yeah, this is the same team from Interdimensional Cable. So, I mean, me and my brother, we were on the only 2 episodes, and us and Justin, we're teamed up again. So if you like those, I think you'll like it. I think it'll be up your alley because, I mean, it's not sketch comedy. It's a storyline. It's like an arc. You know, there's characters, there's stakes, there's all kinds of adventures and fun. But the greatest thing about it is how much we love science fiction and comedy and sci-fi comedy itself. I don't think this genre has been explored nearly as much as like superheroes and stuff. So it's exciting to do it as a comic book. And I mean, I had thought of it always as a cartoon. You know, I'm imagining that it could be animated someday. But at the same time, the comic field is just so much fun. The artist, Francois, I think Vignal, I think how you say his name, he's amazing. He really brought the look and feel just right. If I could plug his stuff, he did this book called Titan right here. It's like a graphic novel. He's a genius. I'm very lucky to work with him.
Yeah, I see some of his art actually from your Instagram, which at the end you can plug your Instagram, everything, so people could see. But you posted a specific picture that I thought looked awesome, and you said the same thing. So
he drew it. Here it is. He basically sent me a copy, and then he did like a sort of like art in the book for me. See, and it was like just for me, but it was this character from this with an orc, and that was awesome. Like it's like I can't believe it, you know, that very talented artist, and he's doing this for me, you know, because he's like he's down to be a part of the team, you know. It's great. We found the perfect artist. Oni did it. They also teamed us up with Michael Tanner. He's the other writer, and he's a genius. He worked on Junior Braves of the Apocalypse, but he basically is another guy who just brought the right energy to this, and he's more of a comic book writer. So I know there's like 4 writers, that's a lot, but you're getting 4 times as much comic book.
Yeah.
Like that's like times our powers by 4, and you're getting like something that's like the peak of what we can all do. You know what I mean? Like you got Justin's ideas, my brother's. Michael is me and Michael are really shaping the dialogue and sounding the world out, and it really comes together well. Like it's a good mixture of people.
That's fantastic. I'm really excited about it myself. Like, and I have a few friends who I know are very excited about it. They've already got it, and
if you're a comics fan, I think you'll like it, especially if you like the '90s era of comics. Very much like inspired by that era of like, remember Quantum and Woody?
Yeah, that's my jam is '90s comics. So that's
me too.
When that's when I was the age when comics you just go and buy them. Like I would just go to the store and be like, yeah, I'll take that one and that one and that one and that one. And like I didn't have to follow a certain storyline. I could just be like, oh yeah, that one's got a cool comic, cool cover, and so I have tons of '90s just random stuff floating around in this room. So
I'm the same way. Like I would gravitate towards something if it just sounded cool and the cover looked cool. I didn't care about continuity or anything. I just grabbed it. It's how I got into like Impact Comics and Ultraverse, CrossGen. I mean, all that stuff was like, it's like gone now. No one really remembers it. But back then, like you said, if you saw it on the shelf and looked good, you grabbed it. But at the same time, Like, it's so hard to whittle things down, you know?
Yeah, well, you know what? I've really enjoyed having you here for this interview, and we could always do it again. You know what? We could do it after I read Orcs in Space, and I will tell you.
Sounds good. I'd like to hear your opinion for sure.
Yeah.
And please be honest. Like, if it's not your thing, I want to know. Like, I would be more interested in that than if you did like it.
It's definitely it's normally my thing to be pretty honest about things. So
yeah, because if you have problems with anything, I mean, to me, you being the same as me, like a 90s comic fan, like, you're the guy I gotta please.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're the guy like me who's probably reading this, and that's the guy I want to write this for.
Awesome. Sounds
so
great.
I'll interrupt the printing process and be like, hang on, we gotta change a few things. I just got some great research, some market research that you can't fucking pay for.
Thank you very much, Abed, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
And I will 100% let you know what I think about Orcs in Space. If anybody wants to find you to find out about Orcs in Space or any of the things that you're working on, where can they find you?
So I will be on, I'm on Instagram and Twitter with Abed G, ABEDG.
Kieron here, from
Play something. Somebody play something. Oh, shit. Oh.
It's a good show. It's a great show. It's a shit show. Pickle Rick show. Not a Jerry show. Scary Terry show. Lick my balls show. Szechuan sauce show. It's the fucking Rick and Morty fan show, bitch.